So this is the DBPower EX7000, one of a range of cameras from a company called DBPower, which I hadn't heard of, but it's based in Shenzhen in China, as most of these electronics companies are. And it seems to be quite a big company that manufactures quite a few things, from automotive products to drones and of course cameras, etc. One thing I did notice is they offer a 24-hour customer helpline. But let's take a look at what else you get in this box here. First off, you get a wrist remote, which is often a £10 extra with a lot of cameras. Don't see any life when I press the button. I'm not sure whether I've got to take out a tab in the battery, but we'll look at that in a minute. You've also got waterproof case, which looks nicely made. And one thing to note is it appears to have a glass lens on the front here. Some of the cheaper cameras have a plastic lens, which is no good at all. It scratches too easily, and also gives you a lot of refraction when you're using it in sunlight and so on. Another thing to mention with waterproof cases, pretty important, is when you come to close the waterproof case, don't just rely on the pressure from the clip, because especially when they're new, the waterproof gasket is very tight. Give the back a good squeeze before you push the clip down, just like so. Plus, what else have you got? Usual range of accessories, and in case you're not familiar with these, the way this whole thing works is you've got these sticky pads. There's a curved one there for going on helmets, and a flat one for a flat surface like a skateboard. Adhesive pads, and you connect by sliding in a bracket, tight, putting a knuckle on it like so, and then you can attach the camera either with it inside the waterproof case if you need it to be waterproof, and if you don't, you've got a skeleton case here which will also give you better sound. This thing here, in case you're wondering, is for tightening up the thumb screws. You've got micro USB charging. Incidentally, it says 3 hours for charging, so I better get that charged. I've given it a quick charge. Get a nice blue light on here when it's charging. I've slipped in a 64 gig card. They actually say max 32, but this works. You do need a good class 10 U3, which is a fast card, and please make sure you use a good brand. Most problems I see with action cameras are caused by cheap fake microcards. As I say, card is not supplied, but it goes in that way up, logo towards the lens. So that covers that. You've also got manual. Manual looks pretty good, multi-language of course, and there is a Wi-Fi app too. We'll take a look at that later. So I think that covers everything I wanted to say at this stage. I'm going to put it on charge, take a closer look. One thing that did strike me immediately was it's got a very different kind of menu setup, so I don't think this is a clone. Certainly the case is nothing like any other camera I've ever seen. The menu system is nothing like anything I've ever seen. And as you can see, it's touchscreen, so easy to use. But I'm going to put it on charge, and then we'll take a closer look. The question I'm often asked is, will it record while it's charging, or will it take photos when it's charging? It actually says in here that it does not record when it's charging. So if you want to do long time lapses, you might have a bit of a problem there. But anyway, a minor point really. So let's get it on charge, and I'll come back in, see you in a couple of hours. Right, well, the battery's charged and I've had a chance to have a quick look at the camera. Now, normally I go straight into showing you the menus and things, but this time I'm actually going to go straight in and show you how the remote works, because there are a couple of omissions in this manual, especially the fact that they don't actually tell you how to connect the remote. All they say is press below button to control your camera freely. And as I've seen one review for this camera that couldn't get the remote to work and didn't even bother to investigate, I thought I'd tell you that first. First thing to do is power up, press the power button. I'll go into the menus more fully in a minute, but basically I'll go straight into this, that right hand one, video, photo, playback or setup. Setup, general, scroll up, Bluetooth on. So now Bluetooth is on. It's a question of pressing both buttons together, and you see a blue light's come on and flash briefly there, which, as far as I know, means it's connected. Now this worked for me when I tried it an hour ago. Then it wouldn't work. It might have been a Duff battery inside, so I put in another 2032 and touch wood, appears to be working. Give it a chance to settle down. The blue light is solid, so perhaps now it's working. Press the big red one. Blue light's flashing, it's recording. Press the big red one again. Stop recording. Press the lower button. Click, it's taken a still. Press the red one again. And it's recording again with a beep. Press it again and it stopped. It doesn't give you a beep to tell you it stopped, or some cameras actually give you a double beep to tell you when it stopped, but at least it gives you a beep to say it started. So that covers that, and it did work. Seems a bit flaky, but it might be because I've got them rather too close together. And you can actually turn off the camera with the remote, although you can't turn it on with it obviously because the Bluetooth won't be on. And you saw it gave a little flash there, turned off the camera. Incidentally, they don't mention whether this is water resistant. I doubt very much if it's waterproof, and there's not a lot of point diving with a Bluetooth remote because I wouldn't have thought the Bluetooth signal carries underwater. Yeah, good bit of kit. Right, so that's that covered. So let's take a look at the camera then. Pretty plain, nice looking case, quite a smooth finish, but doesn't feel like, and a bit of weight to it, doesn't feel like you're going to drop it very easily. On the front here you've got a 170 degree wide angle lens, but you can change field of view in the settings, but generally speaking that means you're going to get poorer resolution because it's just using a smaller part of the sensor. On the base here you've got 1/4 inch tripod mount, very useful. You've got the battery slot that slides across, quite tight. Not sure how available the battery is, but the company's been around for a long time, so no doubt they produce spare batteries or you'll be able to get them. On this end, micro USB for charging and retrieving your files. Plug into your PC and it will open as a mass storage device. And HDMI out, which means you can plug into a TV and view playback on your TV if you've got the right lead. I doubt very much that it would give a live feed for FPV flying. You've also got the micro card slot, which I talked about. On the back, the screen, which is touchscreen. On this end, a little speaker. And now unusually you'll notice it hasn't actually got any power or mode buttons on the front of the case, which is the first time I've ever seen that, apart from the Xiaomi YI2 and the Xiaomi Miha Mini. But it has got on the top here mode, stroke power and shutter. So that covers the case. Oh, and it's got a little symbol there, Wi-Fi. Not quite sure what that little thing is, that might be the beeper. But it's got a little Wi-Fi symbol there, and presumably once I come to show you how the Wi-Fi works, that probably goes blue once it's connected to Wi-Fi. So that covers that. As you saw before, power it up, plays a little tune, and we've got the operating screen. Now, being a touchscreen, it's pretty much dead easy and straightforward to use. If you just play with these symbols a bit, riding, water, diving, most of that just changes colour balance for underwater. Hit manual is normal video recording mode. Hit the shutter, blue light flashing, I'm recording, there's a countdown there, 3, 4, 5 seconds. 7 hours of recording time left. I'm in 1080 60. Sorry, I have to race through this. Battery is full. Press the shutter again, which is the white one, and it stopped recording. Change to camera mode. Hit the right hand one. Photo, stills. Press the shutter. Take a still. Touch that one again. I can go back into video or playback or setup. Now, setup has got 4 options: effect, zoom in or out, filter. Oh, yeah, filter, it's got sepia and a few other things. Can't possibly show you every single thing here. There's just too much to go through. And that little red arrow is return. Now, general, Bluetooth on or off, which I showed you. TV out, changes the TV out format, languages, and so on. Oh, and time setup. And of course you can turn off the date stamp. Now when you're in the setup menu, if I hit video mode, lets it change from looping, which is for car recording. Resolution you can change from 4K 25 frames a second, 2.7K at 30 frames a second, 1080 60, 1080 30, 720 at 120, and a couple of others. I tend to prefer 1080 at 60 frames a second. Change field of view from super wide, wide to medium to narrow. Video quality, super fine, field of fire. Oh, and DIS. DIS needs to be off, otherwise the EIS doesn't work. And that applies to video mode as well, obviously. Effect, oh, I showed you that. White balance, exposure values, turn it upside down, turn the date stamp on or off. Photo, changes resolution for photos, field of view, scene mode, outdoor, indoor. Again, that'll be colour balance. Touch the screen somewhere else a couple of times and that'll go off. Now if you hit that side, you've got another menu. Manual, outdoor, indoor. Probably just best to leave it on menu. Now if you hit the bottom one, you've got another little one. Turn the beep on or off, turn sound on or off, turn the speaker on or off, invert, in other words turn it upside down, probably mostly if you want to use it as a dash cam, turn the Wi-Fi on or off. So I think that's covered it. I shall list it all below because there's just way too much to go into. It's quite a good setup menu. You can even change the mic volumes, speaker volumes, loads of stuff, but too much to actually go through. It's already a long video. It'd be 35 minutes, 40 minutes. So playback, I think I showed you. Yeah, hit that one. You've got playback with sound. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can stop it or pause it, hit delete the file. Yes, okay. Incidentally, if you want to delete all the files, just go into settings and format and come out of that, and I'm back into photo mode, the P, manual, come back into video mode. One thing I discovered that's not mentioned in the manual is a double tap of the screen and you've got access to the zoom, which again will be a digital zoom, so you will lose quality because you're using just a smaller part of the sensor, as far as I know. So that covers that, and of course to turn off, press the power button, a long press. I think that covers everything that I can fit into this video. So let's check out the test clips. But before we do, a quick roundup of what I thought about the camera. I've had it for a couple of days. Easy to use, video and the colours are good. Screen was fairly well readable in daylight, as long as you had a bit of shade. I'll show you again the menu system, which is dead easy to use. Oh, and incidentally, as I've mentioned on screen, they say swipe. Swipe doesn't do anything. Swipe just brings up the same bottom menu whatever you do. It's not swipe, it's touch these little arrows here and then touch it again to get rid of it. So that gives you one, that gives you one, and that gives you one. So one little error there. Get rid of that. Right, battery life was good. I got an hour and 45 minutes. Other thing I noticed, you can change the microphone level. I think its default is 50%. Audio is a bit low at 50%, so you might want to knock that up to 70, 75. And I had a couple of charging issues. It didn't seem to want to take a full charge. Might have been the charge lead I was using or the charger. Another little issue I had was tried to install the Wi-Fi app and it was in Chinese, so I've been unable to show you that. But these are minor points really, especially bearing in mind it's a £42 camera with touchscreen and a wrist remote, which is quite amazing. And at the moment 25% off that makes it just over 30 quid for a budget action camera that gives good results and has got a wrist remote is remarkably low priced. Anyway, I think I've said enough. Hope you found this useful. If you have, maybe you'd like to click on subscribe just down there and the little notification bell. There are something like 54 action cameras on my channel now, plus loads of other stuff like paragliding, paramotoring, sailing, wildlife, drones, you name it, it's on there. So if you're bored one afternoon, take a look. I'm sure you'll find something to interest you. But for the moment, that's all from me. And thanks for watching. I hope I'll catch up with you again soon. So here we go, test clips. Very windy now, so I guess there's a lot of wind noise. A bit windy, so there's probably some wind noise, but some good detail here, rigging on the yachts and so on. And here's a look at the digital zoom. This is normal wide. It actually will record in super wide as well, but this is wide. This is digital zoom 2 times. This is digital zoom 3 times. And this is digital zoom 4 times. Just going to test now to see if you can do it while it's actually playing. Oh, you can, yeah. It does work while it's recording too. So that's 1, 2, 3.